Welcome to Breaking News to Trading Moves.
Yeah.
So, imagine your favorite 90s rock anthem,
Okay, yeah.
but it's totally remixed into this fast-paced techno track and sung by a completely modern pop star.
Right, like a viral sound on social media.
Exactly. But all of it is generated by an artificial intelligence. It's totally legal, and it is actively making the original band money while you sit there and listen to it.
Which is pretty wild to think about.
It is. And that is the exact reality we are looking at with Spotify's new AI music deal with Universal Music. The headline here for you, the listener, is that this specific deal is turning streaming into a platform trade.
Right.
Now, before we go any further, what exactly makes this a platform trade? I mean, are we just saying Spotify is trying to become the operating system for the whole music industry?
That is precisely what a platform trade implies in this context. I mean, we are looking at an environment where streaming is moving totally away from just passive listening. Because for a long time, the business model was really simple, right? You pay a monthly fee, you get access to a massive digital record store, you hit play, and you put your phone in your pocket.
There's a pure commodity distributor at that point.
Exactly, just a pipe. But a platform trade means the app becomes this closed, sticky ecosystem. It's becoming an active arena for AI-powered creation, personalized remixes, audiobooks, exclusive podcasts.
Even physical live event discovery, right?
Yes, you basically stay inside the walls for the entire experience.
So our mission right now is to focus purely on that headline. We are going to look strictly at the specific corporate winners and losers as streaming makes this transition away from just hitting play.
Right, because someone is making money on this.
Exactly. We want to identify exactly who stands to benefit and who faces pressure in this new landscape of AI-powered creation and interactive media.
And that brings us to the central trading question we really need to answer today.
Let's hear it.
Does this move turn Spotify into a higher margin platform? Or does it basically start a mandatory, super expensive spending race across all of streaming, music rights, and AI media?
Right.
Because that is the exact tension driving the market reaction right now.
Okay, so to answer that trading question, let's start by outlining the direct beneficiaries of this new model. And we'll keep the focus strictly on the immediate corporate winners.
Makes sense.
When you look at the mechanics of this Universal Music deal, like who steps up first to collect?
Well, to answer that, we have to look logically at the companies that actually control the distribution. The platforms that can keep you, the user, locked within their specific ecosystems.
Because they own the attention.
Exactly. Streaming platforms equipped with massive amounts of consumer data and global distribution networks are the direct winners here.
So let's talk about the most obvious one, Spotify. The ticker is SPOT.
Right.
Previously, you'd open the app, sit on the proverbial bench, and just watch the band play. You were just a spectator.
Right. Totally passive.
But with this Universal Music deal, you're not just watching the band anymore. You are stepping directly into the mixing booth. You actually get to play with the dials.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So how does that actually work mechanically for the listener?
Mechanically, I mean, it changes the entire interface. Premium users on the SPOT platform will now be able to use integrated tools to create their own AI covers and remixes.
Using selected music owned by Universal.
Right. Think about how many times you see like a sped up or maybe a slowed down version of a song go viral on social media.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah. Now, Spotify is essentially saying you can create that modification legally right inside our app.
Wow.
On top of that, they've highlighted features like audiobooks plus tiers and a reserved feature, which is designed for early concert ticket access.
Right, I saw that.
These are all discrete tools that give you, the user, more reasons to stay inside their app rather than jumping over to a separate ticketing site or like a standalone audiobook player.
You just never have to leave.
Exactly. AI remixes, personalized audio, audiobooks, and creator memberships. These are the specific elements that support long-term user engagement, better subscription retention, and premium add-ons.
I see Alphabet grouped in here as well. The ticker is GOGL.
Yep.
Now, my first thought when I see Alphabet in a music discussion is obviously YouTube. But, I mean, are they just planning to ingest all these newly minted Spotify remixes to feed their Shorts algorithm?
Basically, yeah.
Because they don't own Spotify, so why are they a winner here?
So Alphabet ticker GOGL is what the market calls a read-through winner in this scenario.
Okay.
They benefit indirectly, but massively from the behavioral trend. I mean, YouTube already dominates several overlapping areas of audio and video, right?
Oh, absolutely.
They completely dominate music discovery, creator video, podcasts, advertising, and recommendation-based content.
So they are naturally positioned to capture value from this exact type of user behavior, just simply because of their scale.
Bingo.
Like if you make a remix on Spotify, you're probably going to post a video of it on YouTube.
Exactly. Platforms with huge audiences, expansive user data, and powerful recommendation engines are perfectly built to turn AI content into more discovery, more time spent looking at screens, and ultimately, more monetization.
Right.
Let's walk through the mechanics for a second.
Yeah, please.
If millions of users are suddenly spending hours generating and listening to AI remixes, a platform like YouTube can just ingest that user-generated content, feed it into their algorithm, and recommend it to millions of other users.
Without having to lift a finger.
Right. And then they run ads against that engagement. They don't even have to build the creation tool itself to monetize the output. They just provide the venue for the viral distribution.
Okay, so we have the playground and we have the distribution network.
Mm,
But you still need sand in the sandbox.
naturally.
Since users will be mixing and modifying music, someone has to actually own the raw materials.
Yeah.
The AI tools aren't generating melodies out of thin air, right?
No, they definitely are not.
They are training on and utilizing existing tracks. So that naturally brings us to the music rights owners.
Oh, absolutely. The owners of those raw materials are vital to this equation. We're talking about companies like Warner Music Group, ticker WMG, and Sony, ticker SONY.
Right.
They are positioned to benefit immensely if Spotify's deal with Universal becomes the standard model for licensed AI music across the board.
I like to think of this almost like a software business.
How so?
Well, it used to be that owning a legacy music catalog, say, owning the rights to a classic Michael Jackson record, was kind of like owning a painting.
Right, a static asset.
Yeah. You hang it up on the wall, and you charge people a tiny fee every time they look at it.
Exactly.
But with AI, owning that catalog is suddenly like owning an API code. You are letting developers, which in this case are everyday fans, build their own apps and remixes on top of your underlying code.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
And you take a micro penny every single time someone uses your code to build something new.
That is a highly accurate way to frame it. AI platforms cannot just scrape copyrighted music, let users remix it for free, and keep the profits. I mean, the courts are making that abundantly clear.
Yeah, there are a lot of lawsuits right now.
Oh, tons. AI platforms need explicit consent, they need formal licensing agreements, and they need established royalty structures to operate legally. The major rights owners step in and provide that exact framework. They can charge for official covers, remixes, and fan-created content.
I mean, I'm not sure the world is fully prepared for an AI-generated Frank Sinatra singing modern trap music, but Sony will happily cash the check for it.
Oh, without a doubt.
So walk me through the actual math here. How does this change the underlying value of owning a music catalog?
It changes the value proposition entirely by basically multiplying the revenue vectors.
Sure.
Catalogs become much more valuable because the rights owners, like WMG and SONY, stand to gain direct revenue from these AI remixes and the resulting fan engagement. Let's look at the traditional model.
Sure.
Previously, a 30-year-old song generated a fraction of a cent only when you, the listener, hit play on the original unmodified track.
Right. Just one play, one tiny payout.
Exactly. That was a singular revenue event. Now look at the new model. That exact same song can be licensed as the raw material for thousands of unique AI remixes created by fans.
So the engagement is actively multiplying. It's not just one stream per listener anymore.
Exactly right. It becomes a layered monetization structure. You have the revenue from the stream of the original song.
Okay.
Then you add the revenue from the streams of the 50 different fan-made remixes that go viral.
Right.
Then you add the upfront licensing fee that the AI tool provider had to pay the label just to access the song in the first place.
Wow.
Yeah. Each of those fan creations represents a brand new potential revenue stream for the rights owner. They're monetizing the fans' desire to actively interact with the music rather than just passively consume it.
Okay, so we've figured out how they monetize the song in the digital cloud. Let's move to the next logical step.
What happens off the app?
Exactly. What happens when you take your headphones off? The engagement we're discussing does not stop inside the digital app. It moves directly into the physical world, which leads us to the live entertainment winners.
This is where Spotify's reserved feature becomes a critical piece of the puzzle. This feature actively links your personal, daily listening behavior with early concert access in the physical world.
Wait, let me pause you right there.
Yeah.
Are we saying Spotify basically becomes a highly targeted ad agency for concert venues?
Yes. Effectively.
Like they know exactly who has been listening to an artist on repeat for 3 weeks,
Yeah.
so they can essentially guarantee a ticket sale to that specific person.
Exactly.
That is a massive data advantage compared to just putting up a billboard on the highway.
It is a phenomenal data advantage. And that mechanism makes Spotify a much more important step in the ticket purchase journey.
Right.
Think about the traditional mechanics of selling concert tickets from the perspective of live entertainment companies. We are talking about Live Nation, ticker LYV, and Madison Square Garden Sports, ticker MSGS. Historically, marketing a tour involved a lot of guesswork. You buy radio ads, you buy social media ads, and you basically just hope the fans see them. It is highly inefficient.
But with this data integration, they're no longer guessing who wants to buy a ticket. They have the exact personalized listening data.
Precisely. If a streaming platform can accurately identify high-intent fans based on their daily habits.
Like tracking someone playing an album 20 times in a week.
Right, exactly. If they can identify that user and then push that specific person toward a direct ticket pre-sale, the live event companies benefit immensely.
Yeah, makes sense.
They see stronger demand, highly accurate targeting, and better overall engagement for their live events. The streaming platform acts as a highly qualified lead generator for the physical concert industry.
Wow.
Yeah, LYV and MSGS do not have to spend nearly as much money finding the fan. The platform delivers the fan directly to the checkout page.
That paints a really clear picture of the winners. The distribution platforms keeping you in the app, the music rights owners monetizing the raw materials, and the live entertainment companies filling the physical seats.
Right.
But, for every winner in a market transition, there are companies that face heavy new pressures.
Always.
While Spotify and its partners gain ground, companies competing for the exact same audio consumer are essentially forced to respond or risk falling entirely behind.
And that leads us directly to the rival music platforms. Apple, ticker AAPL, and Amazon, ticker AMZN.
Right.
Apple Music and Amazon Music are very strong, very well-funded competitors.
Mm-hmm.
But Spotify's aggressive push into interactive AI forces them to react.
What exactly is the risk for them if they just, choose not to react?
Yeah.
Let's say Apple just wants to keep offering a standard library of high-quality audio files.
Well, the risk is that the very definition of what consumers expect from a streaming service is changing right out from under them. It is becoming less about the sheer size of the static music catalog you offer. I mean, almost every service has the same millions of songs now.
Right, the libraries are identical.
Exactly. So the battleground is shifting toward personalization, active creation tools, integrated audiobooks, exclusive podcasts, and direct fan access to artists.
Ah, I see.
If Spotify makes the streaming experience highly interactive, the static experience of just browsing a library of songs on Apple or Amazon starts to feel outdated to the consumer.
I have to challenge that a bit, though.
Ooh.
Apple has an almost endless mountain of cash. Can't they just buy their way into this tomorrow?
Sure, they could.
What does the actual financial burden look like for these rivals, now that Spotify has raised the bar on interactivity?
They absolutely have the cash, but spending it alters their financial profile, which, if you think about it, circles right back to our initial trading question.
Does this start a spending race?
Exactly. Does this start a spending race? And for AAPL and AMZN, the answer appears to be yes. To keep pace with this new interactive standard, they may need to spend heavily on brand new, very expensive licensing agreements just to allow for AI remixes on their own platforms.
Right.
They'll need to fund heavy research and product development to build the creation tools. They will also need to invest in exclusive premium features to retain their current subscribers who might be tempted to cancel and join the interactive playground that Spotify is building.
Because it's just a cooler experience.
Yeah. They have the money, but spending it compresses their margins. They must spend simply to maintain their current market share.
Well, the pressure extends far beyond direct streaming rivals, though. It also hits traditional media companies who are fighting for the listener's limited daily attention.
Yeah, that is the final group of companies facing pressure that we really need to examine: traditional audio and legacy entertainment. Spotify's expansion into audiobooks, podcast memberships, and personalized AI audio is going to aggressively pressure any company that competes for your daily listening time.
Because listening time is a zero-sum game.
Exactly.
You only have so many hours in a day. You have a commute, maybe an hour at the gym, and some time while doing chores. If you are spending that time making an AI remix on Spotify, you are not tuning into a terrestrial radio station.
Right. Odyssey, ticker AUD, relies heavily on traditional radio-style advertising demand. The New York Times, ticker NYT, also competes heavily for your attention in podcasts and premium spoken word media.
Okay.
If Spotify captures more of those limited daily hours across music, podcasts, audiobooks, and AI content, other audio names face immense pressure on their subscriber counts, their advertising budgets, and their overall user engagement metrics.
Right, because the advertiser follows the attention.
Always.
Now, I want to push back on the legacy entertainment side of this equation, though.
Okay, let's hear it.
We're talking about massive companies like Warner Bros., Discovery, ticker WBD, and Paramount Skydance, ticker PARA.
Yes.
These companies own highly valuable, culturally defining content libraries. They own the movies and shows that literally define generations. Why isn't owning a massive vault of premium video content enough to compete against an interactive audio platform?
That is a crucial distinction to make when looking at how the market values these businesses. Entertainment is increasingly becoming a business of technology and continuous personalization.
Okay.
Yes, WBD and PARA own incredibly valuable television and film content, but they do not necessarily control your daily habit in the way that an audio app does.
The daily habit is the real moat here.
It is the ultimate moat. Markets tend to reward tech platforms that can turn passive content into interactive daily products.
Yeah, makes sense.
You might watch a specific blockbuster movie from Warner Bros. Once a year. Maybe you binge a Paramount series over a single weekend. But you listen to music, podcasts, or audiobooks on your daily commute every single morning. You listen at the gym. You listen while you are working at your desk.
It's just a constant presence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Spotify controls that daily high-frequency interaction. Legacy media companies may find that they need heavier and heavier investment just to keep up with the level of personalization and interactive technology that modern consumers now demand from their entertainment subscriptions.
Yeah.
They have the content, but they are fighting a daily utility.
Wow. Let's summarize the specific winners and losers we have discussed regarding the Spotify and Universal Music AI deal.
Sure.
The immediate winners are the streaming platforms with the data and the distribution, namely SPOT and GOGL, who capture your engagement and keep you in their ecosystem.
Right.
The music rights owners and catalog businesses, WMG and SONY, win by monetizing their raw materials through new micro-licensing frameworks.
Yep.
And live entertainment and ticketing companies, LYV and MSGS, win by receiving highly targeted, high-intent fans directly from the streaming apps, basically saving them marketing dollars.
Perfectly summarized. And on the other side of the ledger, the companies facing pressure include rival music platforms like AAPL and AMZN.
Right.
They face the financial burden of a new spending race to match these interactive features. We also see mounting pressure on traditional audio and legacy entertainment groups, including AUD, NYT, WBD, and PARA.
Because they risk losing the battle for your limited daily listening time and user engagement.
Exactly.
It really all comes back to that central trading question of whether this model creates a higher margin platform for the innovator or kicks off an expensive race for everyone else.
It really does. And as we consider that dynamic, I will leave you with a final thought to mull over. As streaming turns into a two-way street of creation, how will the industry actually manage the sheer volume of new content when millions of individual users are suddenly generating their own licensed AI-powered remixes of their favorite artists?
This is not financial advice or buy or sell recommendations. This is purely the opinion of the author.